Everyone's like, you've been to Mallacoota yet? Like, have you been to Mallacoota? The Mallacoota, you got to go down because it'll change you.
Alrighty anglers, let's kick off the 2022 Darwin.
I literally started my comp again at about 11:45. I pulled up to that same deep spot.
That was chaos. That was proper chaos. Right. Oh, shaking. I am shaking. Booyah!
Felt like they were just looking for shade, you know, especially at the bridge on the pylons and stuff.
We're gonna turn and burn as soon as this is done, dude. Yeah. Be ready for me.
I was lucky enough to meet with Rhett when I used to work on a tackle shop in Lakes.
Once you get his head up, just go.
Alright, first place. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Why is Cooter, I'm going to move ever so slowly, why is Cooter Brim like special?
Mallacoota is special for brim fishermen because it's such a good fishery. It's always good. Like we've seen it in the pre-fish yesterday and we've seen it today, and a lot of people be saying like how good's Cooter, now it's open and it's back. You'll come down here and you'll do what you generally would do and pick apart the system like you would on your local. But instead of catching those 25, 26 fork fish, you're here catching black brim that are like 35, 36 fork, and it's just an embodiment of fish. Like the amount of bycatch we're catching at the moment is insane, but the actual brim we're catching are quality fish, and that's what Mallacoota always been known for, those quality specimens. Mallacoota, the time of year, the ABT have it here. They align all the ones and zeros and make sure it's fishing at its peak to try and extract the best tournament.
Now I'm pretty excited about this weekend at Mallacoota because it's a pretty special place for me to fish, but also I think it's going to be pretty tricky. First of all, I say it's a pretty special place because it's the first place that I saw my son set the hook, work the lure and catch a fish all by himself. He was 4 at the time, and that's a pretty nice memory. In standard Australian Victorian weather, I think the weekend is going to be a bit tricky though. It's obviously cloudy today, but tomorrow it's meant to be sunny with a southwesterly wind. The following day it's meant to be an easterly, and then the final day it's meant to have no wind, completely glassed out, but with fog everywhere on the deck. So I think we're going to have to use a bunch of different techniques to catch fish and figure out a pattern. There are some changes to the rules this year though. So boaters up the front of the boat will be fishing for a total of 5 fish. Boaters down the back, or non-boaters down the back, will be fishing for a total of 3 fish.
That is half a tank of gas.
If you're not familiar with the Australian fishing scene, we're able to weigh in any species that are Australian brim. Kind of like bass, yeah, you've got largemouth and smallmouth. In Australia we have yellowfin and black brim. There are a couple of other species, but that's what we're going to be targeting this weekend. The location itself, Mallacoota, is pretty insane. As you turn off the highway, on one side of the road you'll see a bunch of different kangaroos and animals, and on the other side of the highway you'll see kids playing around and jumping in the water and enjoying the holiday. Typically only about 1,000 people live there, but then during holiday season the population explodes and it does get up to 10,000 people visiting. This weekend I am sharing accommodation with 2 blokes from Daiwa, Tommy Slater and Richard Patterson, and whilst you see them over the next few videos, the main guy we're going to follow for the entire Mallacoota event is a friend of mine, Liam Carruthers. And across these series of videos, at each individual round, we're going to follow a specific angler. We'll find out what makes them tick, what motivates them, and what makes them Australia's best anglers. Now, like me, Liam does work in the military, but he works in the back of helos, or the Seahawk in particular, as the guy that basically runs the cargo, runs the people in the back, operates the winch, and does all the cool stuff like conducting rescues. Last time you were at Cooter was the bushfires?
Yeah.
So describe for me when you flew in what you saw.
So flying out of Nowra, you're in your IFR, so in a blanket of smoke. Literally took off, got above the smoke cloud, come down towards Merimbula, knowing that the original mission was at Womboyne, just north of Mallacoota, and then used the sort of track features to get in. Literally from Mogo all the way down past Cooter was just thick black smoke, and the moment you got below the smoke blanket, it was ash, like proper scorched earth. It was pretty overwhelming. There was trees still formed because there was no wind. They were ash, so when the downwash touched the trees, they disintegrated. That's how fast and ferocious the fire front went through. They were like just holding. And then as soon as there was any wind or downforce on them, they'd disintegrate.
Did you do any evacuations?
Yeah, we did a few evacuations.
Did you see, when you came into Coota and saw the area, could you see like the ash trees or the fire, or was it just like blanket
Literally
smoke?
when we flew in, all I could see was I was literally navigating our crew into the main street of Mallacoota through the navigation markers that I constantly drive out in my tournament boat to a tournament. So we picked up the channel where we had the port and starboard markers, and I knew that would take us to the main ramp near the holiday park, and that would take us up the main street to the pub. And that's where the dedicated landing zone was going to be, in the clearing near where the pub was. Absolute minimum visibility, literally navigating via those channel markers and trying to count them out in my head because I've gone through them so many times for tournaments. Yeah. So as soon as you get into the brim scene for like 12 months, everyone's like, "You've been to Mallacoota yet? Like, have you been to Mallacoota? The Mallacoota, you got to go down because it'll change you." Like, that's brim fishing at its mecca. So yeah, a real special place in my heart down here. So to see it go through the devastation it did, it was not so much emotional, but it was hard to take. You're like, I love going down there with not only myself, my family, my friends, a lot of good memories there. You just see this brutal fire front just absolutely rocking the lives of these people, and you just sort of think, how are they going to get back on track?
Because you reckon he's getting this the first go? He probably is.
Man, he's got a nice trailer with that little those Phoenix lights on them. Pretty bloody nice, hey? What do you expect? He nailed it. Now he's got dinner as well, so I'm going to make this real quick. But we're fishing with Amy tomorrow, so I'm only going to take 2 rods with me. One soft plastics rod and one rod for the hard bodies, I think, and then we'll leave the rest on the boat. So the plan for tomorrow will be start at 6:30 on Amy's boat, and we'll go through his pre-fish plan and what he's thinking about how he's going to break that system down, or break Mallacoota down tomorrow. I'm pretty excited to watch how he does that. I'll probably stay on his boat till around about midday, and then I'll jump off his boat and jump on mine, and then pre-fish some extra spots that I've got in mind. The surprise for tomorrow as well is that I think Stewie is going to be on the back of the boat with me while we film and go through some of the stuff.
Big Stu.
Hey, mate.
Hiding from the camera already.
We've just started.
Camo top on. Can't see. Oh, yeah. Good man, Phil.
Did you get any sleep?
I drove in last night there,
Oh, did you?
because my kid just won't sleep, so I left like yesterday Arvo. I just pulled a swag up in the caravan park.
Is there a reason that you started here?
Yeah, well, when I first, I was just literally chasing the wind to make it easy, because that's what I do, man. You know, I hate fishing hard against the wind. Even this is a bit harder than what I thought it was going to be, but when we come out of the ramp, I thought the wind was more straight.
Yep.
So I was going to line up that pole, get your lure in the zone a bit. Oh, missed him. Man, that thing ripped it off my finger. Holy been a while.
How long has it been since you've been fishing?
Oh, I went for a mini fish, like to test the batteries out on the local 4 weeks ago, but before that it was literally the win at Foster with Healy last year, last July. Yes, Huey. I got a big bump before it. Long day, buddy. That's a big yellow. That's a big guy.
What a way to start. What a way to start.
That's exactly what I thought. On that edge, man. What I'd say to you tomorrow. The idea, until we realised it was so weedy, was I was going to come right up on the flat, fish the flat and drop off again, and I still will do it, probably a boat length or two this side of that pole, because I don't think it'll be as weedy. I just wanted to fish from 12 foot, come into the rise, get on top, and then fish the drop, just to try and determine like depth wise. Straight away what Stewie did was get his fish in about probably 3 to 5 foot, and then I just got that banging 3 to 5 foot, so that tells me they're sort of sitting in that contour on here, and I reckon they'll be doing it all around here with the bait and the wind pushing the bait up there with their heads out. And then same thing, I think they'll be slightly deeper on this drop off, so I reckon they'll be in about 6 or 7 waiting for the bait to come off and fall into them.
You reckon you'll get a couple more here, or you reckon you'll move on soon?
I'm still going to drift this out, so I just want to get the boat on up towards that green marker this side and then fish the drop off, because I just want to see what's happening on the drop.
I'm actually surprised. I thought it was going to be a bit more of a like a hard body bite.
I reckon you could draw him out of a hard body bite, definitely, 100%. I reckon Hodge be throwing puppy dogs and his hard bodies too, which I keep having a good look at. You got to use what you got in your fish, especially when you're a tourist out here.
There's Hodgie over here. Silly not to look, I reckon.
Oh, 2 from 2. So like brim digs. So like the blacks get in the mud and dig big holes out, looking for mussels and oysters and stuff. So
there's a lot on the good wet sands when we went into the shallow
yeah.
stuff. You can see them all over the shore.
So at the moment there's not necessarily a lot of hot spots there that replicate fish, but there's a lot of dugouts. So the fish have either been here lately, or at some stage they've all been through here and had a bit of a look. There's a bit of bait there. It just come through, so something over there. So worth a shot, worth a look.
It's going to drift with the wind.
What's that?
It's going to drift with the wind.
Yeah, so we'll go with the wind, but like on a zigzag, just not a uniform drift, just to cover it towards the edge, away from the edge, towards the edge, away from the edge, sort of thing.
What's a unicorn drift? Oh, uniform. Like unicorn drift. Like what?
If we catch a big fuck off 2 kilo brim, it's now known as a unicorn drift.
So have you caught fish up here before, have you?
Yeah, different time of year though. In winter it's a really good spot. I can't remember if I've had curve. Oh, something chased it too. You know, these little deeper bits of weed is what I'm loving. The little patches of weed. If you can get your big garfish, if you can get your lure running around there, pausing on them, it should be some fish on them. But I pointed at that and I paused it for ages. Not even that big. Because I paused it for heaps longer than what I've been doing. I'll follow in there. Can catch one. Little buddy prawn. Little black. Remember to slow down and pause it. Because I pointed at that and then it just jumped on the rod. I didn't know blacks got that small, mate. Not a cooter, this is Jurassic Park.
So it's in the side of the head, that's why it's got
Easy, no worries. I'm only throwing the placky because you guys have got the hard bodies covered right now.
Orange on the board. And the Grimbo. There's a few little ones here. Little bag fill spot.
It's actually quite an aggressive tap.
They are, they're very aggressive.
So how long have you been fishing Emu for the ABT thing for?
My first ABT was just before the state, so 2013. 2015 is when I met you, Stu. That was the year I broke through on the grand final. So.
And what happened at the grand final?
Yeah, 2015. So qualified for the grand final, and I was leaving for the Middle East that next year. So I weighed up the cost, and I was like, well, I'm not going to fish for a year. So I went all the way up to the Clarence, paid for all the comp and accommodation and stuff. I'd never been there before, pre-fish with Stewie, and had a bit of fun on pre-fish. Day one went nothing like the pre-fish was planned, and I sort of scratched my bag together at Brown's Rocks, and then yeah, spent the next 3 days as the only bloke in the field, I think, with one spot, and drowned it and got away with the win. So.
Do you remember what your bag limit was?
I remember, yeah, so the total bag limit was 9 point something, but I just remember the last day bag. So the first 2 days were sort of mid-2s, which kept you in the race in the top 10, and then all the magic kicked off. Brito only beat him by, I think it was the weight of a cranker crab.
40 grams?
Yeah, it was pretty tight.
And what did that qualify for?
That qualified me for the AFC, which is pretty exciting. Went up and fished against Camo in the first year, and Stephen Mars.
Were they Team Lawrence Hobie or?
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I Team Moebi, Lawrence. I can't remember if Lawrence is involved or not, but
yep.
That's when I met Dean as well, and went up to Mackay for the first time and popped my barramundi cherry, and fishing's never been the same since. I sit here and fish for these brim and go, this is fun, but I'm always thinking about fishing for barra now. Like, you can't undo what a barramundi does to you. So. And then yeah, subsequently going up sort of the last 3 years, won another one with Dean, which was good fun against Warren Carter and Dan Grech in the grand final, which was good. And then probably the most memorable one's the recent one with Healy. Went up with Mark Healy, who's a fellow brim fisherman. He'd never been up to Mackay before, or caught sooties or a barra before, so we went to Kinchint. We both hadn't been there before, worked it out on a pre-fish day, and got lucky. He caught his first ever barra on AFC, and it was the one that got us over the line, so keen to get back up there this year.
And you automatically qualify again?
Yeah, by winning.
Yeah. And he's...
Oh, that was a big hit off the rock then. Oh, what's that? Oh, got him.
There you go, he's come back for it. There you go. Well done.
That's a big fish.
He's run around.
Jeez, that was aggressive.
Look at him.
That was aggressive. Bang that into a rock.
He went left and right.
Popped it off the rock and it went crunch.
Do you have that wind knot in that?
Nah, come on, Stewie. Have a little bit of faith. You know why he's going so hard? He's a yellow. That's the difference in him. Jeez, the yellows are bigger.
Ooh, look at that.
He's all head. All head. Beautiful condition. He'll fatten up into the winter.
I'm a hard body too.
Yeah, you just come up and just... So cool. That's what I drove the other, like, I'm happy now. That's what I come to Coota for, to catch these big ones. Something special about a big black brim. Mallacoota local, this one. Make sure his mouth's closed for the app.
Good 34.
Yeah, 34 and a half. Big lips on him. There's a way where his transition's like nice. Keeps a bit of thickness to about there, and then in the tail wrist.
They're good.
So good. How's my V-cam? You want to talk about, it's been in a boat for a while, it's actually got corrosion on it. She's an absolute pure emergency energy backup.
Hey dude. was hoping that you got a big one then so I could take a photo or something.
Nah, I had a big flathead.
Oh, did you?
Just picked me up.
So the boys have been awesome this morning, but we are now on my boat. So we've gone across the flat, we've got the wind behind us on this side, and we're going to cast forward to this little flat area here. Hopefully you can see there's some patches of weed and sand. I'm just going to work some lures around and see how we go. The pole down at the moment. So that's the first cast, okay. That's the first cast, straight away, look at that. Feels brimmy. Wrap you down. But it's a flathead. Felt brimmy, but... Alright, see you go. Grow bigger. Grow bigger and bite again on a flatty comp. Another flatty. Cannot get away from flatty. That flatty stalked it and he's hit it. Like we're in the shallows, like proper shallows here. See fella? The water, like I'm seeing a lot of boils like this. A lot of bait move around as I come over the top. A lot of feeding fish as well. Okay, so I got a pack. I've got a pack over here. And I'm gonna count them as brim, but Jesus Christ. Why? Why? It's a donkey. Donkey yellow on the shallows. I'll take, I will definitely 100% take 5 of those. I guess I better mark this spot. We are moving to another spot. Right, yeah. I'm gonna go to the top lake and have a check it out. Are there penalties for live welling fish?
Yeah, you've got to let them go straight away.
Yeah, you don't want to see me rock up with 5 fish in the...
No,
yeah.
So we'll get through it in the break.
I'll see you later. I'll get you leaving.
Okay, boys and girls, I haven't got a PA system at the moment. Long story that involves a sideways Mercury trailer on the road out to Mallacoota yesterday. This is the 2022 Daiwa Brim Series. Big thanks to Tom and the guys at Daiwa for backing up again and becoming the naming right and indulging some great cash and prizes, over $10,000 cash and a whole pile of really good non-boater prizes to give away this weekend.